and 36 minutes past the 3 o'clock hour. You're tuned into SMC Sports on 90.3 FM. 973-655-4256 is the number to call to join the conversation. Sean McChesney, Nick Flaherty, Juan Conla over my shoulder. And now it is time for our NFL Divisional Round picks and preview. And, of course, we will preview the national championship between Clemson and Alabama. Make our picks.
We'll give scores for all these two. We're going fully in-depth here, folks.
Absolutely. So we will start with the first game, 4:30 on Saturday. It is the Kansas City Chiefs riding high in their 30-0 win on a team that probably shouldn't have been respected in the playoffs at all. Kansas City Chiefs at the New England Patriots. It is number 5 versus number 2. Nick, who do you got on Saturday?
I'm going to go with New England. They're at home. They're always good in Foxborough in the postseason. Usually their first playoff game of the year usually has a few hiccups, a couple interceptions by Brady or something like that, but they always overcome it. The injuries are the big key for the Pats, but I think that they'll have enough of their guys back and ready to go for this game after the bye to go out and get the win. So with Macklin gone, I don't know if the Chiefs have enough firepower offensively, so I will take the Patriots at home in Foxborough 30-17.
Okay. I'm going to go with New England as well. And like we said before, New England is going to be as healthy as they've been all year. Obviously, without their guys who were going to be out for the year. Edelman is expected to be back. Brady's expected to be at 100% or maybe close to it. We don't know the status on Jeremy Macklin. New England, one of the best teams easily in the NFL. We don't know how that rushing attack is going to be. The pass rushing, I believe, is going to take Alex Smith out of this game early. It can be close if the Kansas City
Jamie
defense
Collins
is
the guy to watch.
Absolutely. I'm going to take New England by a score of 21-10. So I expect to be a little closer. I expect them to win by 11.
I can see that.
So the next game we will preview Seattle at Carolina. This, I believe, is on Sunday at 1. Nick, what do you got?
I have not been high on the Panthers really all year. I respect their 15-1 record. They've had a great season. Cam Newton's played well. At times very well. Their receiving core is nothing special, though, and I think that is a potential Achilles heel here is Cam Newton's inability to make all the throws accurately, and their subpar receiving core, to me, puts them behind the 8 ball against the Seahawks. Carolina's defense is the strength of the team. Pass rush is great. Front seven is good against the run. So that could create some problems because the Seahawks haven't run the ball well since Marshawn Lynch went out and then Rawls went out. That ruined it completely.
Right.
Lynch is a possibility to play in this game, so that could change things for them from an offensive standpoint. But I'm still going to go with Seattle, with or without him. Their experience factor, their knowledge of how to play in these big games, for me, puts them over the top. Their defense can handle these receivers. I know they lost to Carolina the first time round. I want to say 33-28. Their secondary had some trouble, but I think the second time round they come better prepared. They come ready to win, and they play a lot better and a lot harder. And Russell Wilson's been playing very well of late, especially now that the weather is not going to be so terrible like it was in Minnesota. Mm-hmm. So I will go with the Seahawks in this one, 20-17.
Okay, so close to one. I
think they shut down that offense.
I take Seattle as well. I give Carolina all the credit in the world. A 15-1 season, that is phenomenal. But, like you said, I believe they beat 6 teams who didn't even make it to the playoffs. Which includes
not by much in each of those games. The
much.
Margin of victory was not that good.
The New Orleans victory, which I believe was by 3 points in overtime, really sealed my fate.
They needed overtime against the Colts. They needed overtime against... I think they had 3 overtime games, and the Giant game, they were up 35-7, made some mistakes there.
And win 38-35.
Listen, obviously, a win is a win is a win. We're not trying to diminish the wins,
absolutely.
But I think there's more flaws in this team than people want to let on. I think the flaws can be exposed.
A lot of people are like, oh my God, Carolina 15-1, how can they lose? Prime example, 2011 Green Bay Packers.
There was some things wrong there, too.
There were some things wrong. They got the bye 15-1. The rest, I'm not going to blame the rest on it because to me the Giants were the better team going in anyway. At least at the time.
I wouldn't say the better team, but
they
I would say
got red hot at the right time.
The strengths of the Giants, right, was their defense and their pass rush. Mm-hmm. And the weaknesses of that Green Bay team was the offensive line was so-so, and their secondary wasn't great, and their pass rush was okay.
Yeah.
So Eli Manning could make the big play and throw the ball downfield, and they could get pressure on Aaron Rodgers. And I think Carolina, offensive line is good, But for me, the receiving core isn't great. And the Seahawks let Greg Olsen burn them the last time out. I can guarantee you they will be prepared for him this time.
Absolutely.
They have Jeremy Lane healthy. He made a great impact yesterday. So that's what I think is the big thing. The strength
Moral
plays
of the
into the
story,
weakness.
I'm going to take Seattle in this game. I'm going to take them close. I'm going to say 30-27.
That many points, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a defensive struggle, but I could see that.
We'll
you
see.
know, who knows?
We will absolutely see. Now we got Green Bay at Arizona. This is on Saturday night on NBC, so we have to hear Chris Collinsworth again.
Al.
And I like Al.
No, I love Al, but I'm just quoting Collinsworth. Everything ends in Al.
I was about to say, leave Al out of this.
No, I love Al. Al's a legend.
I'll start with this one. I'm going to take Arizona comfortably in this one. To me, Arizona is the team to beat in the NFC. Green Bay got the luck of the draw by losing at Lambeau to get Washington. And for a first half, we thought it wasn't going to be their night either. So with Green Bay going in this game, they still have a lot of problems. Their O-line is still struggling. They still got a lot of guys hurt. You know, Aaron Rodgers has still been struggling. He found his way in the third quarter yesterday, but before that, he was struggling. He went 1 for 8 on his first 4 possessions, which included getting a safety in the first quarter. So for this is the year for Arizona, I think. I thought it was last year they were going to play in their place at the Super Bowl. Injuries got to them. This year, I see nothing holding them back. I see Arizona over Green Bay. I'm going to say, I never really thought of a score here. I'm going to say 33-10.
Okay, then. Arizona took it to the Packers a few weeks ago in Arizona. That was without the Honey Badger for most of the game. And
Honey Badger don't care.
Exactly, he don't care. He's a fantastic
like
player, and it's a big loss. I'm not sure Kirk's liking today, but that regardless.
No,
of Kirk
he does
Cousins,
not like
he's
today
gone.
at all.
But they got after Aaron Rodgers. The pass rush got home. The offensive line had all kinds of trouble against the Cardinals. The Cardinals' passing attack lit up the Green Bay defense. David Johnson was fantastic. He's been fantastic, and now it sounds like Chris Johnson's coming back.
They made the Green Bay defense look like they didn't even know what they were supposed to do.
So now they're
the
going
field.
to have the three-headed monster again of Ellington, Johnson, and Johnson. Sounds like a law firm, but
good God!
I think the Cardinals will win this game. Aaron Rodgers found his way, like you said, and Eddie Lacy played better, but I don't think they can do this again. Not that I don't really think Washington is anything special, anything to write home about, so I don't want to read too much into the win. I will say the Cardinals beat them 35-14 in the desert to move on, and then they would host the NFC Championship game. If our predictions hold true, they would host Seattle in their building.
And that's what my pool is, too. And
yes.
Finally, this is the biggest question mark of the weekend. This is Sunday at 4:40. It is the Steelers at the Broncos. I want to start off with this.
All comes down to health. Go ahead,
It's
sir.
all going to come down to health. It's all going to come down to this. And my dad said this the other day, and he's right. The Denver defense, we all know, is better than the Pittsburgh defense. But is the Denver offense better than the Pittsburgh defense?
Well,
that's the question.
Better than the Pittsburgh offense, you mean?
No, better than the Pittsburgh defense. Can the Denver offense put up points against the Pittsburgh defense? That's my point. I know I didn't really say it makes much sense. But
no, it's okay. I just thought you were comparing both units. It's fine.
No. Because we know that the Pittsburgh offense is not 100%. It's dynamic, but it's not 100% right now. As of now, Big Ben is going to look like he did in that last drive. Mm-hmm. Antonio Brown, we don't know about yet. He's still on concussion protocol. But on the Denver side, and I've been saying this for weeks, can Peyton Manning win this game when he hasn't played all year? To me, he's rusty. To me, it's all going to come down to the rushing attack, and that is all going to come down to, is the Steelers' defense as good as they say they are? This is going to be, to me, the closest game of the playoffs this year. But if I'm taking anybody right now, I am taking the upset of the year, and I'm taking the Steelers.
Wow.
Very close, very low scoring, 17-14.
I've been fighting myself over this game since we figured out the matchup. I don't know how much of the Steelers, how much of Big Ben the Steelers will have. If they can get, I would say, 50% of Roethlisberger, if they can get him close to what he was on that last possession, they have a chance. To me, the biggest factor in this game is that D'Angelo Williams is back. It sounds like he will play this week.
Which helps the rushing attack against the Denver
rushing
defense.
attack. And I thought Jordan Taubman and Fitzgerald Toussaint weren't bad in relief of him. So they're going to have to run the ball a lot, I think, to back off the pass rush. Denver's defense is fantastic. I think Antonio Brown, as long as he's cleared by a doctor, will play. I don't know how good a shape he's in, but I think he plays.
If the doctor says, I recommend rest, but you can play, he's going to be on the field.
He's going to play.
He's going to be on the field.
So I don't know what the deal will be with him and the injury, but we'll have to see as we go. But I think the Steelers have a chance in this game. Their defense is going to have to play like they did against against the run, like they did this past week against Cincinnati. The front seven was great. Bud Dupree had a nice game. Shazier. The secondary is the question mark, but I don't know if Peyton can throw the ball down the field. God, this is difficult. I'm going to go with you, Sean. 20-17, Pittsburgh.
You know what? And this is a close one. And you know what? Ever since we saw Big Ben go down and we saw him in that final drive, I really didn't know what to think of this game. I did my pool early.
I mean, a big part of it is I think C.J. Anderson's had a bad year. He only played well, I would say, twice out of 16 games. So can I trust him to go out there and win this game
Absolutely.
and help Peyton? I don't see it. And I mean, is Brock coming in off the bench rusty?
And despite Pittsburgh not coming in at 100%, to me, the big story still is Peyton Manning rusty? And to me, if that's the case, Peyton Manning is not going to play well. Everyone's like, oh, Peyton played well against San Diego. No, he didn't. He went 5 for 9. And he couldn't throw downfield.
They were check downs.
And he couldn't throw downfield. That's what really caused San Diego to crumble was the psychological factor of Peyton Manning being on the field. Peyton Manning couldn't throw downfield against the Chargers. He was terrible. Yeah. No, he wasn't terrible, but he was 5 for 9. He came in the third quarter. It was the psychological standpoint of Peyton coming on the field, which is what cost San Diego the game. That will not happen to Pittsburgh on Sunday. Do not start with that. But again, when we found out Pittsburgh was coming in not 100%, this to me had to have been the biggest question mark of the weekend. But to me, Pittsburgh, I feel, is still the favorite off of that. And they get D'Angelo Williams back, so the rushing attack should go against the defense well. If the Denver defense has any mishaps, this thing is over. Because that is the reason that the Broncos still have a shot in this. So before we take a break, we will now save our final pick, best for last, tonight. The 2016 College Football National Championship at the University of Phoenix Stadium. It is number 1 Clemson and number 2 Alabama. Nick, who do you got winning the gold tonight?
I would really love to see Dabo Swinney and Clemson get this done. It would be such an awesome story. I think it would be, his story and career coming full circle as the head coach. Deshaun Watson seems like a great guy, and this team really, they play hard and they play a fun style of football. And having said all that, and how, I guess I would say bored or tired I am of Alabama winning it all, I can't pick against them.
Yeah.
They're too good, too prepared, always ready to play in these big games. So I have Alabama 33-17 tonight at the University of Phoenix Stadium with another national championship.
Let me tell you something. If there's a stat or any analysis out there or any analyst who says Alabama is an underdog, Nick Saban has that as a fuel of fire to him. So for him to look at the ESPN bottom line and see number 2 Alabama versus number 1 Clemson, that sets him off as well.
I think what sets them off in particular is that Dabo Swinney spent the week saying, well, no one gives us a chance, no one gives us a chance, I don't know why. I think Alabama looks at it as like, yeah, you don't deserve a chance.
Yeah, they're like, no, you don't have a chance in this game.
Right.
And that's the kind of coach Nick Saban is. He was like that at LSU. He tried to be like that at Miami when he went to the NFL. And he came to Alabama, and he was like that again because he likes that.
Exactly.
I would love to see Clemson win. I'm one of those people who loves to see the underdog have a shot. For example, I thought Auburn was the underdog against Florida State. Man, did I want to see Auburn win that national championship. But, again, like you said, how can you not pick for Alabama tonight? Just offensively, defensively, Derrick Henry in the backfield, he needs to have more yards tonight. He put up the touchdowns in the Cotton Bowl, but he did not put up the yards. He has to do that tonight. Kruger, with the Cotton Bowl of a lifetime, he has to have a repeat performance tonight. And again, just offensively, defensively, special teams, this team was born for a national championship this year. I think they're going to get it tonight. I expect Clemson to put up a fight, but at the end of the day, I expect Alabama to walk away with the trophy 33-10.
I could see that.
Yep. Now, again, don't get me wrong, and like we said before, the NCAA has to hope for a classic tonight. And what we just predicted, the NCAA is going to have a lot of questions to answer.
Yeah.
So we'll take a quick break here on the show. Coming up, we will wrap things up. Final thoughts on SMC Sports when we return. 973-655-4256. Sean McChesney and Nick Flaherty after this.